Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In today's video, we're going to be covering the full patch notes for this 1.12 update, which was just released into Modern Warfare. These patch notes were just uploaded by Infinity Ward officially. I'm going to cover everything you guys need to know about this important stuff in this content update, including bug fixes, weapon changes to some of the pistols, some marksman rifles. We also have some audio changes to footsteps, of course bug fixes, and a lot of new content into this update. So if you guys could drop a like on this thing, that would be absolutely incredible. I know it only takes half a second, but liking the video really does support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and go for 608 likes. If you could take that half a second to smack that like button. Also subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed. So let's go ahead and break it down and get right into it. Now, first of all, what is new? We do have a new operator available that I believe is part of a bundle in this game. We also have new maps, Shipment and Vacant, of course from Call of Duty 4, as well as Winter Docks, which is essentially the docks map for 2v2 gunfight with a winter variant on it, of course, for sort of a, I don't think we really got a holiday event, or I wouldn't say this is a holiday event. Maybe we'll get one a little bit later, but that is obviously holiday themed for that one map. Next is that there's a playlist update, and with the playlist update, they have, it looks like they've taken out Shoot House 24/7, and they've switched that over to Vacant and Shipment 24/7, which should be called some sort of a Season 1 mosh pit, which is just going to give you those two new maps rotating, Vacant and Shipment, with a bunch of different game modes. Now, I am excited. I think that that's great. Two good maps that obviously small maps, one is smaller than the other, rotating is really nice. I am going to miss Shoot House 24/7. I wish they could just leave all of it in at once, but I'm guessing probably Shoot House will come back at some point soon, but for now we're dealing with that, or maybe they could even have both playlists exist side by side. I think that could be great as well. Who knows if that will happen. I think maybe that could be updated very soon. We don't know, because when we got Crash 24/7, that playlist only lasted a couple of days and they switched it right back to Shoot House, so we'll have to wait and see for that. Next is Cranked, the new game mode Cranked, where when you get a kill, you speed up for a little bit for 30 seconds, you have to rush around, and it tries to basically encourage people to not camp and move around. That game mode is out now, also into playlist. The Drop Zone game mode is not out, but I believe that's probably going to be next week's game mode, or coming out at a later point in the season, like I talked about in my last video. And next is that Gunfight is back, they say. So it looks like the original Gunfight should be back instead of the OSP Gunfight, which of course was fairly controversial because of everything going on with Twitter, with Ninja complaining, with a lot of people wanting the original Gunfight back, and it looks like we do have that. Next, we have new Spec Ops, new Special Operation Strongbox, and new Classic Special Operation missions, Disinform, and Bomb Squad. So next, I'll show you guys some of the bug fixes that were added into this game. One thing is that they implemented several settings for the auto sprint option, always sprint, always super sprint. This is interesting because they had, I remember like a while ago, they said this was in the patch notes and it just wasn't. Back when they did SCAR, changes to the SCAR and the way that weapon works. That was quite a while ago, and now it looks like they're saying that should be added. Some other stuff that was fixed in terms of these bug fixes and other things like that is, it says that they made some slight UI adjustments to the base and officer rank progression screens to both have similar designs. UI, of course, is user interface. They added a new menu that allows players to launch a specific trial. They have a few things in here that are kind of nice bug fixes. Fix for players experiencing a drift while using an Xbox controller. I know that one's been kind of annoying as well. And just fixing a bunch of bug fixes, things that would get people stuck into an update requires restart and basically having to go through that over and over. So a lot of bug fixes there, which I of course showed all of them up there. Next is they added an auto move forward feature for keyboard and mouse as well as controller, and when this feature is enabled, it can be activated in game by pushing the movement stick forward twice. And this is basically an auto move forward feature. I don't know if this would be how usable this is going to be. Honestly, I don't really know. This is something that I wasn't really requesting, but we'll have to wait and see with that. Next, they just said improved navigation for the store and battle pass menus on keyboard and mouse, blah blah blah. Not too much important stuff there, just, you know, a bunch of bug fixes, a bunch of small minimal UI design changes. But the big things that we have right here come down to the audio and the weapons, and we have that right here. Audio, footsteps. They reduced the audible range of third-person footsteps, which is huge, basically making the footsteps quieter overall, right? Reducing the audible range of third-person footsteps. They increased occlusion on footsteps, and they also did a couple of different changes. Fix for air vehicles not occluding properly, occlusion adjustments to all air vehicles. So I'm not sure if this will be the update making a lot of the stuff like the Harrier, which is the VTOL warship, a little bit quieter than they were before. Adjusted various Foley sounds that played at a larger range than footsteps during ADS and crouch movements. So here we are, even like over a month into or almost 2 months into this game, and of course this update is still revolving around this audio, which is, I think the audio is it's really been interesting this year why they made it so ridiculously loud, the footsteps off the start. It seemed like when the game came out it kind of was incomplete, but it looks like now it's settling into a better place, and of course more audio changes hopefully will be for the better, but we don't get exact values, so we're gonna have to hop on and play and see how that feels. Next is the weapon balance changes, a lot of the stuff that everyone is looking forward to on each patch update, and for this one we don't have the most amount of changes, but I think there's like 4 weapons that were affected here. First of all, they adjusted the hip spread for the 357 snake shot, so it's consistent regardless of stance. Now I'm not sure if this means it's a buff or a nerf. Basically it just means your hip fire is going to be the same whether you're standing up, whether you're proning, whether you're crouching. At least that's what I think it means. Maybe it doesn't include proning, maybe it's just crouching and standing up, but I'm not sure if that would be a buff or a nerf for the 357 snake shot. I would think if your hip fire standing up would be the same as the crouch, it seems like that maybe could be an increase to this weapon, but at the same time they also nerfed this weapon just, what was it, last patch update, so I'm not sure if this is a buff or a nerf. Really, we don't honestly know because we don't have the back end data of how it worked regardless of stance before pre-patch and after patch, but some changes there to the snake shot. Next is reduced flinch on some of the marksman rifles, the Kar 98K, the EBR 14, and the MK2 carbine, and this is a big significant buff. Of course, we'll have to see exactly how much they reduce the flinch, but reducing flinch on people with the marksman rifles or players with the marksman rifles or the sniper rifles is a big deal, because of course that's what it comes down to. If you're picking that weapon, it comes down to, okay, I think I can beat you by hitting one more tactical, skillful shot compared to you spraying me down with the M4 or whatever you're trying to do, and that is sort of your game plan there, much like a shotgun up close, but a sniper works at all ranges and is probably, you know, a lot harder to use to hit your shots with than a shotgun. Of course, so reducing flinch is a big deal on the Kar 98K, the EBR, and the MK2 carbine, really hitting in with a lot of those marksman rifles, as you can see. Next, we have some changes and some bug fixes and other things to Spec Ops, as well as the Call of Duty League, just some things that were go ahead and changed right there, and then that's pretty much about it for this update. A lot of bug fixes. Mainly this update was in regards to not necessarily patch notes and updating the game, but it was mainly around a content drop, and that's why we have these new bundles available for sale in the store. We have these new maps and playlists available 1 week before Christmas, which is of course because Christmas, I like to refer to it as the second launch of Call of Duty, which is basically when a big wave of people obviously get the game early, or well, this year late October, early November. Everyone's buying the game on release week. Everything's been huge on this game so far, but then on Christmas there's a whole nother wave of players getting this game, and not only Christmas but around the whole holiday season, and especially when people might be off of work or off of school, there's a lot of time for people to spend playing this game. And of course, in Activision and Infinity Ward's eyes, if there's time people can spend playing this game, that's time they can spend buying the content, and of course engaging us with these new bundles and also these new maps. I think these maps are going to be really great. As someone that, it's interesting because, let me know in the comment section down below, did you play Call of Duty 4 or did you never play Call of Duty 4? If you played Call of Duty 4, let me know with the COD 4 down in the comment section down below. If you didn't play Call of Duty 4, it's no big deal. I mean, that game came out in like 2007. It's a really old game. And of course, new people are getting into Call of Duty every single year. So, you know, it's not no big deal if you never played it. But it's interesting because as someone like myself who's played the majority, I mean, I played all the Call of Duty games that have been popular basically, and it's down to where they're just remaking these maps over and over. And it's interesting because these maps, I was thinking about it the other day, it gets the excitement. It's genius. It's not really genius because it's kind of simple, I guess you could say, but it's very smart to release these old maps because of course there's a bunch of people that will complain and say they're reusing maps, blah blah blah, which is true and is a valid point, but at the same time it gets the hype up for new players who see these old players getting excited and also see, well, these maps are actually pretty good. Obviously, if these maps have come back over and over and over again, they're good maps, but also for the old players, of course, you get that nostalgia, you know the map is good and you just want to hop on and play, and the new players sort of get to experience the same things we experienced on a new variant of it, which is interesting because we've had people experiencing shipment all the way from Call of Duty 4 to COD Squad Ghost, where they made that one variant of the, I literally always forget the name of that one. And then they have the World War II one as well, and just a bunch of updates for shipment. And, you know, Vacant is a map also that we've seen come back. I believe they brought Vacant back into Modern Warfare 2, right? So it's a map we've seen come back also into the port on Ground War. Good maps I think they picked to come back. Would Vacant be my #1 pick? Probably not, but I think it will play great on this game. I think it would play amazing on 10v10, although it might be kind of hectic. But, I mean, they're putting on Ramaza and Gunrunner. They're expecting 10v10 to be hectic anyway nowadays, so I think that could be definitely a good idea. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did make it to the end, drop a like on this thing. That would be incredible. 608 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed. I'll catch you on the next one. That's about it, and I'm out. Peace.